So I'm going to show you how to do seed stitch, because that's how we're going to stitch our little fox here, and in a lot of my kits I like using seed stitch in quite a dense way. So I'm going to show you how to do it. You should have a little guide in your instruction booklet, and that shows you kind of where to put the colours. I generally like to use a mix, so I like to use a range of different colours within a section. Normally in kits you'll just find one colour and quite sparse scattered seed stitch. I'd like to put it a lot closer together and a lot denser, and use 2 or 3 different colours in each section. You should find in your stitch guide how to do seed stitch as well, so a little illustration and step-by-step written directions to show you, but I'm also going to show you here as well. So I've already stitched my little back stitch outline of my fox. Generally, whatever kit you have, you will have a back stitch outline to begin, so get that done first, and then we're going to fill it with whatever colours it tells us to in the instructions. So I'm going to start by showing you this little back of the neck area. I'm going to start with stranded cotton just because I've decided that's where I want to begin. So we're going to come up through the fabric anywhere in the section that we want to stitch. We're then going to create a small straight stitch, maybe 1 centimetre or so long, within our area. We're then going to come up through the fabric again, somewhere else, not next to where we've just created our stitch, somewhere different. We're then going to create another stitch, a very similar length to last time, but going off in a different direction. So we're trying to make it look like we've almost scattered the stitches. And we're just going to keep doing that. So we don't want to keep putting them in the same direction. We don't want to follow any kind of pattern. We want to make it look really random, and like they are almost like little seeds that you've sown. No kind of rhythm or pattern to them, just wherever you would like to put them. So it's up to you how close or far apart you place your stitches. It doesn't really matter. I think that's one of the nicest things about seed stitch, is that no one's going to have the same as you. Everybody is going to have a different type of seed stitch. They're going to have used different lengths, different colours in different places. Their placement's going to be different. And I think that makes seed stitch really special and lovely. So you can just fill a space as much as you like. Okay, I'm happy with how I've created that little section. Obviously, more of that would need filling, but I'm happy with how much I've done to demonstrate to you. So I'm now going to move on to the next colour. So this time I'm going to use a crewel wool, just because it's got a different texture to it, and again, it's a slightly different colour. So normally, that is all you would do for seed stitch. You would stop at this point and you would say, great, I'm done, I've used my seed stitch. However, I'm going to make it really nice and dense so that we can see a lot of colour and a very little bit of the background. It's just kind of a bit of a variation that I like to use in my kits. So we're going to do exactly the same again. We're not following any pattern, we're not following any kind of sequence, we're literally just adding stitches in between our other stitches that we've added in a different colour. And you can see how adding that second colour is making the stitches a lot closer together. So it's making it a lot denser and a lot more colourful already. So we're just going to add again as many as we like. I've tried to keep my stitches a very similar length, even in this other colour. Okay, and I've got one more colour to use for my seed stitch in this section. Okay, so I've got this palest one that I'm going to be using last, which again is another colour. You can see how I'm almost filling a lot of the white gaps that there are left. But you can see where the fabric is. So filling those sections, again, with different directions of stitch. and making it really quite dense with all of the different colours that I'm putting in. Okay, so you can see how I've created that really dense looking pile of stitches there on the fox's neck. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you something very similar but further down here on the tail. So if you look at my instructions, you can see how I've almost mixed the colours here where the tail is. So we've gone from these greys and creams into these reds and oranges. Some kits that will encourage you to have almost like an ombre effect, and some where you will literally have straight lines of seed stitch to follow, but it's up to you. If you wanted to have a straight line here, you really could. So I'm just going to add in some stitches using cream. And now some using grey. Okay, and this next section of the tail is going to be red. So rather than just having a straight line where the stitches finish for the grey and the cream seed stitch and the stitches begin for the orange and red tones, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blend some of these more orangey tones So I'm going to do it with all of those different red and orange shades that I was using. Okay, so you can see how we've now created that almost ombre type effect where we've nicely blended the transition of stitches from these reds and oranges into these greys and creams. So it just makes it a bit more of a seamless transition rather than having a straight line where one section starts and one section finishes. So that's something else that you can have a go with when you're doing your seed stitch.